Hey, I'm Owen.
Hi, I'm Susanna.
And Susanna, before I start this episode, I have to apologize to you. This episode starts in the middle of your red sketch.
That's alright.
I'm sorry about that.
That's completely fine. A lot of it was me just having trouble figuring out the spacing on these panels beforehand, but I think that's fine. The sketch is more interesting to look at.
The sketch is, saved, too. You know what I mean? So that is a nice thing, too. But, yeah, I was a little sad to go back and realize. What had happened was we streamed for the first time in a while the other day. We have some prints that we're catching up on. And in stream, it's been a long time since we streamed, and so I had to change some settings in order to do that. And I just ended up overwriting some stuff that that I had set up for recording, which is a shame that the sketch on this page was a casualty, or at least the recording of it, so...
Rest in peace, sketch.
I know. Well, at least it exists, you know what I mean? It'll go up on the Patreon, too, but...
yeah, we do have the actual sketch, and that's always the more important part.
Yeah, for sure, but yeah, we're starting today's page right in the middle of a sketch.
Yeah.
Heavy page today.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of feeling it a little bit. Yeah. I feel, when we get to this part of a scene that I use the word excited for. I said, when we were starting this, I'm really excited for this scene. I'm excited for it. I feel at this stage of it that I don't know if excited was even the right word. I think when you go into it, you're excited. Yeah. Because it's, it's a lot of exposition that you're really excited to get to talk about finally. Yeah. It's a lot of character development that you're excited. You're always excited for your characters to grow. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And so these moments of growth and the ability to demonstrate that they're growing, or that, this is an opportunity for them to learn something about themselves, or even to dig into why they are the way they are, is exciting for me as a consequence of wanting to move these people through stages of growth. And so I'm always I'm thrilled to have those opportunities and to get to them. But man, at this point,
the emotional toll.
At what cost? I don't know. It's I don't know if excited is the word that I would use for this moment in time, but I am very satisfied, maybe. I liked this page. Yeah. Even for as there's, it's dual, it's both exhausting, work-wise, and it's a little emotionally exhausting because, we sit in this page for a good 10 hours. You know what I mean? It's our mental state. Yeah. For at least one full day's work, if not sometimes two.
That's definitely real.
And it's there's a lot of tweaking and revisiting, and we do get to stretches of production where you can kind of turn your brain off, or at least I do want to talk to you about that because that's what I do. Yeah. But I'm not drawing it. Yeah. So there does come a time when I've thumbnailed the page and I've put the words on, and it is a little draining for me to do that emotionally, and then I pass it off to you, and then I can kind of turn my brain off, and as I'm coloring I can kind of not really think about it. Yeah. And pages like this, we'll talk a little bit about why they are as exhausting as they are. Yeah. But I don't know that you necessarily have the luxury of being able to turn your brain off and not really feel the emotional weight of what you're doing.
Yeah, not really. With this page in particular, it was a little difficult. Yeah. Because in the last few pages, those were the ones that I was really excited for. Yeah. Because it's just getting to explore Riva being alive and happy and her energy and how much I love her as a person. Sure. And it's she's a character that I've always loved and had this particular fondness for because she is very heavy. Yeah. And I do appreciate getting to see her happy and vibrant and full of life. The thing about Riva is she's happy forcibly. Yeah.
And, we're with her so briefly in these pages. And her story is told to make a point, kind of. You know what I mean? And Eli is talking about something that he's learned now, and maybe he's even learned a little too late. Yeah. Honestly. That Riva's happiness, she's such a happy person physically.
Yeah.
And she's such a forcibly happy person and at, almost in denial of herself. I think we touched on it really briefly at the end of last episode. Riva, at this point in her life, and as soon as we see her in the first panel that she's in 2 pages ago, would have already been totally removed from her family's life. She would have been kind of on the move, probably, living with roommates, traveling, trying to go out and see the world, forcibly putting her past behind her and not wanting to look at it or examine it or really pay a lot of attention to it, and is happy now by distraction of never really wanting to look inside, I guess.
Yeah.
And so it's bittersweet. It's exciting to explore her being happy and how charmed and enamored Eli was with such a happy person, and how reluctant he was to dig into it with her, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, when you get to this part of the little anecdote, it's heavy, you know what I mean?
It is tough.
And it goes kind of quick, too. Yeah. This first panel here that you're drawing here is she's still kind of in that happy mode, so it's for you. I could turn it off and just do some colors, you know what I mean, just kind of do a gradually fading color palette and kind of not think about that for a while. But I mean, you're
detach a little bit,
but you're drawing those facial expressions every time.
Yeah, it was tough. I do still really like this part of Eli and Riva's story. Because it's a lot of the build-up for who Liam is. Yeah. Why Liam is the way he is, and why he approaches life the way he does. Yeah. Why Eli has become the way he has. Yeah. But God, it's a lot to sit in for hours and to work on. It's,
this part, I think sometimes it's difficult, these lessons that characters can learn too late. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes it's important, and it is interesting, I think, in the fact that because it's taken them so long to learn this lesson, they've clearly sat with a lot of anger. Liam is a very angry person. Yeah. Probably not so much anymore. Yeah. But especially when the comic started, he's very angry. He's just like an angry person. Yeah. And he clearly doesn't deal well with his issues, and he doesn't like to talk. And he doesn't like to really dig into what's super wrong with it, you know what I mean? And it's something that he's getting better at, which is why, we can sit and have conversations like this. But I mean, there's a reason he is that way. Do you know what I mean? There is a reason that, he solves his problems with anger and walking away from it. You know what I mean? And it's
chooses not to resolve anything, just sort of feels an immediate reaction to something.
Yeah. Deflects. Yeah. Gets mad, makes a scene, and then storms off. Yeah. And it's, I don't know, I'm excited. Again, excited is a tough word. But I am excited for moments where Liam gets to demonstrate that he is becoming more capable of leaving that way of dealing with his problems behind. Yeah. And, he doesn't have to just get angry and then say, I don't want to talk about this, and walk away, you know what I mean? And say, like, this isn't productive, or, you know what I mean? Make it about something else that he's angry about in that moment, or blame it on somebody else for talking to him about it, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's I don't know, it's interesting, and I think it's nice for Eli too, to finally have a place to be able to have a conversation like this.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone that Eli can really have this conversation with. Liam would be the only other person in the world who would even come close to understanding where Eli's coming from. Sure. With a lot of it. Yeah. And that always hurts me for their relationship too.
I know. There's like Alphonse too. Yeah. And Alphonse, I think, to some extent would understand and be able to sympathize. But I think it's kind of interesting too, in kind of a sad way, that both Eli and Liam are not particularly close to Alphonse. Yeah. And both of them are very guarded people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's easy to think that because Alphonse is an older character and he's an older relative of Liam, that he might like fit some like big brother role to Liam.
Yeah.
But Liam doesn't super see him that way.
Yeah.
He's not a particularly Liam does not get close to people easily. He does not let people into his life easily, even if he likes them.
Yeah.
He's a little guarded, and so is Eli too, I think. Even if he likes people, he's a little guarded, and I think, it's kind of cute to see, he has this like maybe kind of fatherly relationship with Matt, where he's like, oh, cool, like I get to try again with a son who is maybe a little more willing to work.
A son who's actually interested in the career that I set out.
Who's not quite so just quits things when they're too difficult, you know what I mean? But even though he has like a relationship that's kind of easygoing and kind of paternal with Matt, he still is very guarded. He wants Matt to close the door. Like, this is not a conversation for you. Like, this is a personal conversation. Yeah. I don't discuss personal things with you. We're not that close. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like part of the benefit for him working with Matt and appreciating Matt is that Matt also likes to keep that separate too.
Yeah, there's professional boundaries there. Yeah. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a healthy thing, and it's something that, is necessary, you know what I mean? But so they're very guarded people, and really, when you are kind of guarded in that way, Eli and Liam are the only people who can talk about these things in a way that's like really healthy for them, barring professional help, which is good that Liam now has too. Yeah. But I'm happy to get to a point where they can talk a little bit more, even if it's tough. It's a tough conversation, and it might not even be, I don't know. It's the first step of maybe what might even need to be many steps in order for them to find an actual healthy balance. And
yeah, that's definitely real. And I think that's actually what helps me a lot with getting through pages like this. Yeah. Is thinking forward into like what it can do for Liam's relationship with his father.
Sure.
Because it's like, obviously, Reeve is in the past. So as much as like things with her hurt.
Sure.
I can move on from them thinking about the positive impacts that she's had on their lives.
Right.
How they can move on with each other and like their own happiness with each other.
Sure.
And like a lot of their relationship up to this point has been very stunted. Mm-hmm. And now it can actually develop because they can have these hard conversations.
And I think we'll get into that a little bit more in the next couple pages too. Yeah. Which is, I will say, while this page is not a page I would use the word excited for.
Yeah.
And while I was very excited for the previous two, I am very excited for where the rest of this scene is going to go.
Yeah. I do agree with that.
And I won't speak too much more about that because we'll get there when we get there. Do you know what I mean? But I think this is it's all pieces, and webcomics, they move so slow. You know what I mean?
That's the problem.
It really, it really is the as much as I love the format and I really enjoy telling stories in this way, that is definitely one of the biggest downsides of the medium. But
like we were talking earlier about how comics, you just drink them. The pages go down so fast.
They're so quick to read. Mm-hmm. And it's what I love about them. I really love comics for exactly that reason. But no, they really do. You drink them down, and they take so long to make, and they take so long to balance the posting of them. Do you know what I mean? Because like we work hard on them, and we are looking for ways to be able to speed up our production time on them without compromising quality. Yeah. But I couldn't do more than 2 pages of toy a week.
Yeah.
It would be too fast, I think. Yeah. And there will come a time where I'll love to do other comics alongside toy.
Yeah.
And, if we can maintain 2 pages of toy a week alongside some other comic pages too, with some like really thoughtful production time put into that in order to not tax ourselves too much. That's something I'm very interested in doing, but you still, I won't push us to more than 2 pages of toy a week, and so at that rate you're still telling this story so slowly, and you know what I mean, it's very like, I can't wait until we get to the part I'm really excited about in exactly 14 days. You know what I mean? It's not 14 days, but you know what I mean, like that feeling is very it can be difficult sometimes, especially when you're in the thick of a page like this.
Oh yeah, that's definitely real. This scene's probably going to go into the middle of October. No, it's probably the end of October.
Oh yeah.
About it.
Oh yeah.
Just because it is all written out. We are like a few pages ahead on the writing on that, and it just I am excited for what's coming up.
Sure.
This page was tough, but being excited for the other ones does make it a lot easier.
That is true. I did want to say why exactly this page is so exhausting. Why this scene is so exhausting. We've talked about it with the previous 2 pages, and talked about how gathering references and making sure the references are accurate, and then also that the accuracy is also rolling, so that not only are you depicting things in time correctly, but you're also depicting them for your characters correctly, and taking into perspective, like, your characters are aging, and how that would also change their perspectives. And a lot of this is, like, really difficult to hold in your head as you're going forward, even if it only contributes to what one particular panel looks like. You only have to do one illustration, technically. Yeah. But you still have to do that 6 or 7 times.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes a lot of, like, double-checking your work and making sure, you know, that everything is hunky-dory, you know what I mean? But this page, I think, was exhausting in a slightly different way. Yeah. Because, as you can probably tell, this page does not involve any exterior shots. Yeah. There is no real necessity for any of these panels to be rooted in accuracy, right? We're not approaching a train station or checking how accurate the luggage is compared to, you know what I mean? Or anything like that. We are, but now there is there's some need to make these panels accurate to panels that already exist. Yeah. We've now entered into not one referenced scene that we've done before in the comic, but 2 references that have pre-existed this page in 2 separate places. Yeah. Which seems kind of like, oh, well, that seems easy. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is look back. But not only is it's like panel redraws in some cases, but it's also making sure that you're remaining accurate to something that has already existed, and, you know, not necessarily holding yourself to being a perfect replica. Like, you have to allow yourself to grow a little bit, but it still has to look like the same spirit of the thing, and it has to call to mind that we are in the same place that we've seen before. Yeah. Which I find very exhausting. Yeah,
it is. It's a different kind of exhausting, for sure.
Yeah, mentally exhausting.
Yeah. Particularly the scenes that you're talking about are the middle panels are in reference to, in book 2, there's extra comics in the back that they're not on the website. Yeah. I think they're just in the volume 2. They are. And they are in the digital version of it and the book itself. They are pages that are just like 2 pages where you get to see Reva and Eli with a younger Liam. Yes. And this particular panel that starts the middle row is a redraw of a panel in there. But then the panel that's next to it, the one that I'm working on right now, is an added scene where you get to see what happened immediately after. And it's something that Eli's clocking. Yeah. It's something that we don't see from Liam's perspective. Right. It's Eli instead noticing something that we as the audience don't get to know because it was from Liam's perspective before. Right. And when I redrew this panel, the first time that I drew this scene, I think that was probably 8 years ago.
It really, has it been that long? Yeah. That's crazy.
It's been a very long time. I don't know the exact year. I can't remember exactly. Yeah. I should have looked, but
yeah, it's all right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It was years ago, and I already knew where it was going to go. I knew that would eventually come back up. Sure. That is something that is extremely important for them. Right. And will have to come back up. Right. But at the time, I tried to give it like a very fleshed out background. I tried to give them very fleshed out outfits. Sure. And I still, in redrawing it, decided to change things.
Yeah. You planned for it to be like very distinct, but even, but there's no accounting for like how your taste will change or how your style will change over those years.
Yeah, so I'm going to just account for it as Liam's memory is different than Eli's. So Liam remembers a different drink on the counter.
Sure, yeah.
And Liam remembers wearing something different.
That's so funny.
But otherwise, everything is very much the same.
And it's exhausting to kind of like put your brain mentally into capturing the exact same it's not exactly the same aesthetic, but like the same spirit of aesthetic. Like it has to look like the same thing. Not that it has to.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not beholden to anybody but ourselves. But like that if you want it to, and if that's our goal, that it has to look like the same time. While being not like necessarily like pushing yourself to draw in a really old style or to set up the panel in the exact same way or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's really interesting. And it's exhausting. And all I'm doing is coloring, but like I try to also preserve the spirit of the colors.
Yeah.
And I try to preserve so for me specifically, the last panel on this page is a redraw from a different perspective, or I should say, I guess, maybe a minute or two after a panel that's pre-existed.
Yes, so that is the other panel in here. That is another scene.
Yeah, that's I think it's the conversation that Heber and Liam have in the hotel before Archie gets married.
I think that page is the nightcap thing.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Either it's that page or it's the page that comes.
It's him talking about it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So Liam is recounting all his friends have kind of learned to walk on eggshells around him with certain subjects, and this is one of them. And sometimes he forgets because he's not a very social person. Yeah. I don't want to talk about. You know what I mean? Especially. Yeah. He's made a little more progress since in being able to talk about stuff more and not have such knee-jerk emotional reactions to things. Yeah. But yeah, so that was him kind of trying to unpack a thought of why he even got so angry in that moment, and then to apologize for taking his anger out on somebody. He's at least learning to catch himself and be a little more self-aware in those moments where he does get kind of emotional. Yeah. That panel had a whole color scheme, do you know what I mean, that I wanted to preserve because I liked that it is the same moment, but then had to slide into. Yeah. I don't know. It was just kind of, it's trying to preserve things like that and to kind of carry the spirit of them, and instead of just redoing it from scratch sometimes requires like a level of like thinking about it that by the end of it, like, you look up and it's taking you twice as long to do than it would usually do, you know what I mean? And you've been working on the page for a day longer than you thought you were going to be working on it, you know what I mean? And it's very like, it gets to the end and it's like, and not only is it that, but it's also kind of an emotional page for you. Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, this page is never ending. And then you fuss about it extra and you don't want to rush it because the page means a lot to you and you want to take your time on it. But man, hour like 10 or 11 of it and you're like, I want this page to be done. Yeah. I want to move on. This is so much.
Yeah, I think sometimes after you get to the end of a page like this, you need like a little bit of a reset.
Yes, I think so too.
A little bit of a break. Go take a walk and look outside.
Do some yoga. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. Thank you, Yoga with Adrienne. It just saves me on days like this.
That is a great YouTube channel.
Oh, I love it. She's so cute. I definitely, things like this definitely require a little bit of a reset. And I'm happy that it's done. This is one I'm really happy is in the bank. I feel that way about most pages. Yeah. Like, oh God, one more in the till. You know what I mean? Happy that it's done. Happy that it's behind us. Love having that page count once more up. You know what I mean? But this is one that I'm proud is in the bank. You know what I mean? This is one that I'm really happy to put behind us. That we've moved through this scene a little bit more, but then also, I don't know. I really like it. Yeah.
I definitely feel that too. It's something that we have talked about for years now. These pages in particular. This is a scene that we've wanted to touch on eventually, and that we were really excited to get to. So it feels good to be through it. Yeah. It feels good to be getting through it. Still.
Yeah. At least through this part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree.
And even as, like, the weight of it does hurt a lot sometimes. And that's kind of a good thing, because it is, like, a lot of processing from a character's perspective, too. And I do enjoy that. And as I look at, like, me, like, drawing this page, it's kind of funny to think, like, I know for a fact, because I reference so many old pages today, I know for a fact, maybe a month from now, maybe a year from now, I'm going to have to look at this page again, and I'm going to be like, ugh. Because that's always inevitable with looking back at old pages.
Yeah.
So I have to, like, take this moment even now to recognize, like, I worked really hard on this page.
Yeah.
So I hope my future self will find something to like on it.
Yeah. Well, maybe because this is a point of privilege that I can speak from, but because so much of the art, because I hate the mini comics. I hate the mini comics within a week of making them. But because I don't make most of the art, I love the old art. I really do.
So you get to have the contradiction of that.
Yeah, I truly I am blessed in that I can look back on old pages and be like, oh, look at this little time capsule. I remember exactly where we were when we made this. I loved your old art. Your new art is better. I agree. But this is so charming. I really like it. And I don't feel any of the, like, oh god, but no, genuinely I know at least I can relate to the sentiment, because literally the mini pages don't survive more than like 3 days for me before I'm like, I cannot draw. I hate looking at my art within seconds of it being complete. Get this away from me. Don't show it to me. Don't ever show me my own art. Ever. I don't want to look at it.
You know, like, I look back at the mini pages and it's some of my favorite stuff. Like, I love a lot of the mini pages, even still.
They're fun to make. I like the jokes I make on them. Yeah. But, oh god, I hate drawing them. I hate drawing them. Well, that's not fair. I like parts of drawing them. I'm just rusty. I'm out of practice. I don't draw as much as I used to. I was in a different place with my art when I agreed to do mini comics between chapters, and I'm no longer in that place.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it's all good though. It is what it is.
And I really like the mini comics, so...
Well, that's what I make them for, so...
Thank you, I appreciate it.
No problem.
I like getting to look back at them, so...
that's good.
That's always a good thing.
Well, I'm glad also that they exist in the quantity that they do.
That's true.
So I don't have to do them that much.
Yeah.
So...
It is just an end of chapter thing, and I think... we already know exactly what you're going to be doing for the mini comics on this.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
They're fun. Yeah. I'm really excited for them.
I am excited for this one. Maybe I'll even feel a little bit better about drawing them this time too.
I hope so.
We're in the beginning of October now as we're recording this. I'm not doing Inktober this year. But I might do, not like a daily thing or anything like that, but I might do some kind of, draw challenge thing, even if it's like, because a lot of people are doing like Drawtober or whatever, where they'll do like sketches. They don't like push themselves to doing like finished inked pieces or anything like that, but enjoying that spirit of like, I don't know, doing spooky prompts and stuff like that.
There's some really good ones circulating, actually.
I might do like one or two. I try to like warm up into the idea of drawing and maybe I don't know, try to like it.
Yeah.
For once.
I think that's a good idea. I was thinking about it. I actually kind of wanted to, just because even last year when I did get through the whole month of October with all the inks, I actually had like a really fun time with it, and I ended up improving on some things that I didn't even think about. Yeah. And it got a little bit faster to draw for a while. Yeah. So that's always fun. Yeah. And I would like to embrace that again. Yeah. But once again, I have too many other things that I should focus on.
I know it. Because
I guilt myself and go like, I should work on those instead.
Right, exactly. You know what? I was just thinking about, as you were saying that too, that we were talking about maybe doing the 24-hour comic thing too this month.
I think that's today.
Oh! Damn.
Either it was the day that we just passed, or it's starting today.
Oh. Never mind then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't have to do it on the day that it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
I've seen people do it later in the month too.
Oh, Susanna.
I know. Godspeed to everyone that's doing it, because that's some of my favorite stuff.
Bless your hands. Bless your digits. Bless your brains as you undertake these art challenges.
I can't wait to read them.
I know. I can't wait to do one eventually, too, when I'm a little less tired.
Hope to do one eventually.
I love inside jokes. Hope to be part of one day.
Oh, it's a good stuff.
I can't get through a day without quoting The Office.
I know. What's with that? It's like we watch it sometimes or something.
I feel like I need some Office tonight after working on this. I could do with a couple chuckles and some cringe.
Give me some comedy.
I know it.
Yeah, this is, even as I look up, it's like the heavy panel that you were just working on.
I know it. And I was working alone for a significant portion of the end of it. And I was hauling ass to keep up with you, too. Like, I started, like, right out of the gate as soon as you finished that first one, because I knew it was going to be a tough one. And I hate coloring alone at the end, you know what I mean? So I was really, and it took me so long still, even after that.
Yeah.
This was a tiring one.
Yeah, there's nothing for it. Sometimes you just gotta.
Even the hover text, honestly, was a little tiring. Yeah. I hate doing hover text for pages like this.
Yeah.
I really, because, the hover text is usually, like, something goofy one of us has said to each other in the last, like, hour or two. Like, we're delusional, we're tired. Sometimes it's, like, 3 a.m. as we're working, and it's, like, one of us cracks a joke, like, what if Milo was, like, yeah, I'm gonna put that as the hover text. I
know, we end up just, like, because we're so exhausted, and it's just, like, I'm doing some, like, finishing touches, and you're doing the last of the colors, and we just start, like, cracking jokes back and forth just to, like, lighten the mood of having, like, how exhausted we are.
Yeah, and okay, that's the one I'm gonna put. Oh, that's the one. That's definitely the one I'm gonna put. But on pages like this, like, it doesn't matter how tired I am. It's like, I don't want to do a hover text.
Yeah, there's no joke that we can make. And, like, the closest thing that I can even come back to is, like, I liked getting to see young Liam still interested in clothes.
Oh yeah, and I do like little Liam interested in his daddy's coat.
Yeah, that's not really a joke. It's just like a fun thing that I recognize about, like, a baby Liam being distracted in this room
because he just likes the feeling of the inside of his papa's coat. Yep,
just wants to go and admire his nice fine clothes.
Yeah, but even that I didn't want to. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was like, dude, sometimes serious. Like, the thing is, I could make a joke, but it's just like I just don't want to. Yeah. I just don't feel like it. So this is
time and place.
Yeah, for sure. So this was I don't know. It was a tiring page. It means a lot to us to make it.
Yeah.
And I really like that we're here. Mm-hmm. I like that we're here on this side of the page. I like that. That's good. I always like that, but I like that today. Mm-hmm. I like it's done. And I don't know. I'm thrilled to be getting into the message that we're about to be getting into. Yeah. Now we've laid some kind of difficult brickwork, you know what I mean? And there's some stuff that I'm kind of excited to say in a couple days, or, whenever the next page goes up that you're reading it or whatever. So I'm happy we're here. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I appreciate if you've listened to this point, if you read this. We appreciate you. Thank you for reading. We really enjoy making this stuff.
Yeah.
So
it means a lot to both of us.
Yeah.
To get to share these stories and to have people read them and enjoy them.
So we hope that you enjoy it as much as we enjoy making it. And I don't know. Thank you for sharing it with us. It means a lot. So if you're here, we appreciate you. And I don't know. Have a good day today.
Yeah. I wish you all the best.